This isn't a film. This is America, where the grim reality of homelessness in America lingers just beyond the dazzling glow of our cities. In places like Birmingham and Montgomery, the streets are home to those with nowhere else to go, battling daily to endure. Their struggles hide in plain view, eclipsed by the comforts and triumphs many overlook. As the nation's prosperity sparkles, this documentary reveals forgotten lives that expose the flaws in our system. Let's dive deeper into what's unfolding in Alabama and the toll it takes on those left behind.
Well, I've been staying in my friend's van right now.
In a van?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been sleeping in his van for right now.
Have you ever slept on the street?
Yeah, I've slept on the streets at parks, wherever, in abandoned houses, wherever.
Homelessness in Alabama isn't just a far-off problem. It's a vivid, growing crisis impacting families, veterans, and ordinary folks. In 2024, 4,601 people were counted as homeless in the state, with nearly half living unsheltered, exposed to brutal weather. These aren't mere statistics. They're real individuals facing hardships most of us can't fathom. Consider James, a 62-year-old Vietnam War veteran in Birmingham. Once a mechanic, supporting a family job loss and medical debt left him destitute. Now, he sleeps in a tent beneath a highway overpass, his military medals stashed in a tattered backpack. James's story isn't unique. It's a sobering reminder that homelessness can strike anyone regardless of their past or service to the nation. In Alabama's urban centers, Birmingham, Montgomery, and Huntsville, the contrast between booming development and rising homelessness is striking. As these cities flourish with economic growth and new possibilities, the plight of those like James grows harder to overlook. The lively pulse of city life, with its busy streets and bright lights, masks the painful reality of people living in cars, packed shelters, or on sidewalks. For many, the hope of a stable home feels increasingly distant, replaced by a daily fight to endure. What happens to a family when their home is gone? What does it mean for a veteran who once served with pride to have no shelter? These questions strike at the core of what we cherish as a society: prosperity, safety, and stability. Yet too many are excluded from these blessings, struggling just to get by. How can we, as a nation that celebrates progress, let so many fall through the gaps? Homelessness is a complex issue, and in Alabama, it reflects the larger crisis of homelessness in America. As our cities prosper, the problem of homelessness grows alongside them, unseen yet undeniable. If we fail to address root causes like scarce affordable housing, soaring costs, and inadequate social services, how many more families and veterans will remain in the shadows, forgotten by the society they once helped shape? The moment for change is here, and we can no longer afford to look away. Homelessness in Alabama isn't a random or isolated problem. It stems from a web of deep-seated systemic issues that have been brewing for years. A key factor fueling homelessness in the state is the persistent shortage of affordable housing. While Alabama's housing market may seem more attainable compared to costly states like New York or California, it's increasingly unreachable for low-income families and individuals. In cities like Birmingham and Montgomery, soaring rent prices paired with stagnant wages have made it nearly impossible for many to secure stable homes. For instance, rents in Montgomery have surged by 15% in recent years, leaving families struggling to find affordable places to stay. With many unable to keep up with these rising costs, they're often pushed into unstable situations, from packed shelters to temporary stays with relatives or friends. Yet the problem extends beyond housing prices. The escalating cost of living, food, healthcare, transportation has worsened the situation. With wages failing to match inflation, many working families are trapped in a cycle of financial insecurity. How can anyone maintain stability when the cost of essentials keeps climbing but their income stays flat? The growing gap between living expenses and wage growth is creating a divide that leaves many behind. For those on the brink, even a minor financial hiccup can lead to homelessness. Beyond economic challenges, mental health and addiction issues significantly contribute to the crisis. Many facing homelessness in America also battle substance abuse or mental health disorders, which make holding a job or securing housing far more difficult. Sadly, Alabama's mental health services are woefully underfunded, leaving those in need without the support to recover or reclaim their lives. The lack of adequate mental health care and addiction treatment has deepened the crisis, with many unable to escape their struggles. These intertwined factors have fueled a crisis that's growing at a troubling pace. If we fail to tackle these root causes, rising costs, flat wages, and scarce mental health services, what lies ahead for Alabama's homeless population? How long can we ignore the widening chasm between the prosperous and the struggling? The moment to act is now, before the crisis becomes unfixable. Homelessness is not just a personal struggle. It's a societal challenge that reverberates through communities, affecting not only those without homes, but the entire social fabric. In Alabama, the effects of homelessness reach far, touching everything from public health to local economies. What happens when the most vulnerable are forced to survive on the streets? How does this impact the community as a whole? For those experiencing homelessness, the toll is crushing. Beyond the immediate dangers of street life, harsh weather, poor sanitation, and constant threats of violence, there are lasting impacts on mental health. Many individuals living without shelter suffer from anxiety, depression, and other mental health disorders, often exacerbated by the trauma of being homeless. Without a stable home, focusing on recovery or envisioning a brighter future becomes nearly impossible. The public health consequences are equally alarming. Homelessness fuels a range of health issues, including infectious diseases, addiction, and chronic conditions like asthma and diabetes. Limited access to basic health care makes managing these problems challenging, leading to further declines in physical and mental well-being. How many in Alabama and across the nation suffer silently unable to access care because they lack a home? The rise of homelessness in America is undeniably a public health crisis. What will it take to recognize its urgency? The economic burden of homelessness is also substantial. Local governments spend heavily on emergency services, including hospital visits, police responses, and crisis management. Rather than investing in early support, these reactive measures cost taxpayers more over time. Shelters, though vital, often hit capacity, leaving many on the streets and requiring ongoing emergency aid. In a state already facing budget challenges, can we afford to let this cycle persist? Communities feel the strain too. Rising homelessness can lower property values, deter tourism, and create a sense of unease. Businesses may shutter or relocate, and people may avoid certain areas. Fear and discomfort grow as homelessness becomes a visible, constant reality. How can we keep our cities vibrant, safe, and inviting when so many suffer in plain sight? As the number of homeless individuals increases in Alabama, it is clear that we must find a way to break this cycle. If we don't, what will become of these communities' futures? Can we keep ignoring the impact of homelessness on our health economy and society as a whole? The homelessness crisis in Alabama is a pressing issue, but growing efforts are aiming to confront it directly. The path to resolution won't be simple and obstacles abound, but viable solutions are within reach if we act with urgency and unity. One promising solution is the Housing First program, which has seen success in various parts of the U.S. and is starting to make its mark in Alabama. The concept of Housing First is straightforward yet transformative, provides stable housing first, then tackling issues like addiction or mental health. By offering individuals a safe, secure home, they're better equipped to focus on recovery, securing jobs, and enhancing their well-being. Traditionally, people were required to fix personal issues before they could access housing, which was a major barrier for many. By shifting toward housing, First Alabama is making progress, but this approach is only part of the solution. Local groups in cities like Birmingham are stepping up, offering vital services such as shelter meals, job training, and healthcare. These resources are essential for helping people regain stability, but demand often outstrips what's available. Shelters are consistently full, and despite the tireless work of local organizations, funding and staff are scarce. How can we ensure those in need receive services when resources are so limited? Alabama has directed funds to homelessness programs, but it's still insufficient to tackle the root causes. Homelessness isn't just about temporary shelter. It's about addressing systemic issues like the lack of affordable housing. Rent prices in Alabama are climbing, leaving more people unable to afford stable homes. At the same time, Alabama lacks sufficient mental health care and addiction treatment services. Without these, many homeless individuals struggle to recover. Shelters offer a temporary roof, but without lasting solutions for healthcare, housing, and jobs, the cycle of homelessness persists. The way forward is clear. Collaboration is essential. To truly impact homelessness in America, state government, local communities, and nonprofits must unite. The government must increase funding for affordable housing, mental health, and addiction treatment services. Local communities must keep supporting shelters and the organizations providing critical aid. Additionally, individuals can make a difference by volunteering, donating, or advocating for policies that tackle the root causes of homelessness. No single group can solve this alone. It demands a collective effort. Relying on short-term fixes like emergency shelters won't address the core problem. It's not enough to offer a bed for a single night. We must provide the tools and support people need to rebuild stable lives. This includes affordable housing access to mental health care, addiction, treatment, and job training. How can we expect people to thrive without the basic support needed to regain stability? The question we must face is, are we ready to invest in the long-term solutions needed to combat homelessness? If we keep relying on temporary measures, the crisis will only deepen. But if we commit to enduring change, we can break the cycle of homelessness and help those struggling to rebuild their lives. The future of Alabama's homeless population and society as a whole hinges on our willingness to act now. The time for change is here. Will we step up or let the crisis grow? The power to change lives is in our hands. Homelessness in Alabama is a deeply rooted challenge, but there are practical steps we can take to drive meaningful change. Consider Sarah, a 25-year-old single mom from Montgomery. After losing her job, she couldn't cover rent and became homeless with her young son. Through a local Housing First program, Sarah and her son moved from an overcrowded shelter into a stable apartment. This solid foundation allowed Sarah to rebuild her life, proving how our efforts, large or small, can create a lasting impact. One direct way to help is by giving to local shelters and organizations that deliver critical services to the homeless. Whether it's food, clothing, or monetary aid, your contribution directly supports those in need. Many groups also provide volunteer opportunities where you can help prepare meals, sort donations, or assist people in recovery. Volunteering forges connections with those experiencing homelessness and offers them the hope they urgently need. Beyond donations and volunteering, pushing for change is vital. Backing policies that support affordable housing, mental health care, and addiction services can lead to enduring change. By signing petitions or reaching out to local officials, we can show we care about the homeless crisis in Alabama. As homelessness in America grows, addressing it locally and nationally is more crucial than ever. Supporting programs that provide job training, housing support, and financial education can also offer lasting solutions. These services not only provide immediate help, but empower individuals to regain stability and independence. Finally, raising awareness in your community can have a powerful effect. Sharing knowledge and motivating others to act strengthens the support system and helps shift the tide on homelessness. If we all pitch in through donations, volunteering, or advocacy, we can end homelessness in Alabama and build a more compassionate society for everyone. Conclusion. Homelessness is a crisis that cannot be ignored. It's a crisis that affects not just those who are without homes, but all of us as a society. Alabama, like many states, faces a challenge far greater than just providing shelter. It's about restoring lives, giving hope, and building a future where no one sleeps on the streets. The time to act is now before more lives are lost to this silent epidemic. It is our responsibility, and we must rise to meet it.